happy about rescuing dogs, not happy about rescuing dogs' coats. There is a dog grooming trend on social media that I've been noticing, and I do not like it, and I'm gonna tell you why. We all love those feel-good videos where they take like a neglected, rescued, abandoned dog and they shine it up and it's just like dog glow up. I get that. That's wonderful. I wanna rescue all the animals. But when they focus the video on it's a fluffy dog and it's matted and we're gonna rescue the coat, I've got a problem. As a groomer, the way I see it, a shaved down dog just as good as a fluffy dog, depending on kind of what you're going for and the health of the coat. I understand some people like the fluffy dog haircut, very, very nice, well-groomed, fluffy, great, awesome. But I saw yet another video where they rescue this Doodle, and it was a pretty large dog, and it was just very matted. Not all the way to the skin, like not gonna need a 30 blade to shave, but they could have just run a 7 blade through that so easy. And then the groomer proceeds to be grabbing the mats on the legs and just using her scissors and scissoring them out. I cannot stand watching people scissor mats out of fur. It's so risky. It's so risky and unnecessarily so. She worked the whole video, sort of documented how she worked so hard and long to de-mat and cut out all these like mats and try to save some of the length and then finally get the clippers on it, but leave, you know, maybe at least a ½ inch of fur so that it still looked fluffy and leave the legs even fluffier. I'm telling you, I cannot watch these videos. I think it's people who mean well, and I understand the intention behind it, but they create this whole feel-good journey out of something that they're really just putting the dog through, and even the groomer putting themselves through unnecessary difficulty. And in this video that I saw recently, the dog was so tolerant, and they were like, and she sat like a princess for the whole video. And I'm like, I get that. So you had an extra good dog, but that's no reason to put it through 4.5 hours of work instead of 2 hours of work. Just because it's a good dog, it can tolerate more than an average dog. I don't know. It doesn't seem fair. The dematting process is uncomfortable for a dog. It's also hard on a groomer's body. I mean, if you think about that many hours of work, I mean, literally from start to finish, if you're talking about a 4.5 hour job, which is what they specifically mentioned in this video. And that included the bath, but there's all this time of like using the brush and your body is engaged. It's actually pretty taxing, but it's also uncomfortable for the dog. I imagine, to me, it's a little bit reminiscent of us going to the dentist and the dentist being like, you know, if it's gonna take 30 minutes to clean your teeth, the dentist being like, just hold your mouth open for 45 minutes or 60 minutes instead of 30. You know, it's like, I mean, I don't want to. One of my big reasons for disliking these videos so much is because I do understand that on the surface it looks very appealing and very beneficial, and it has this feel-good ending where the dog looks cute and fluffy. And honestly, if you take a Doodle and shave it down, it's gonna look like a dog instead of a teddy bear. So one of the big things that I dislike about this type of content is that it gives regular people, regular dog owners, maybe dog owners with a dog with a fluffy coat, the wrong impression. The impression that they can neglect the coat because I saw a video where the coat was so neglected and they rescued that. So my dog's coat is only a little neglected. Why can't you rescue that? It just like lowers the bar for even just regular owners. And it even creates circumstances where they have the wrong impression about what is humane and what is able to be done and what is worth doing on the dog in order to rescue the coat. And then they come into the groomer and then they argue, please don't shave it down. And how dare you, or they cry after it gets shaved down, or any of this conflict between the owner and the groomer based on this misunderstanding. These videos are just perpetuating that misunderstanding. So you've got these feel-good videos where it's sort of glorified that they've done something so great for the dog. And I think the great thing is rescuing the animal. But at the end of the day, I think they might be enabling some mistreatment of other animals by giving owners the wrong impression about what should be done. The tone of these videos is that it's so glorified and admired, and to me it's just not admirable at all. I think we're rescuing dogs here, we're not rescuing coats. Now, fluffy coats are great, okay? Fluffy coats are great, so if you can brush your dog often enough and keep it maintained, and we can get our clippers through it. We can keep it fluffy. We can do the scissor work instead of shave downs. I love that. I think that's great. But the concept that a fluffy dog should never have a short haircut for like its entire life, to me, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, there's gonna be phases in your life. Like, if you own one of these dogs, you know, what if you have a baby and then you're so busy? So just for practical reasons, that dog might need a short haircut. You know, it's just the idea that for, let's say a dog is gonna live for at least a decade, hopefully more. In all of those years, it's gonna be fluffy and never shaved down and shouldn't be shaved down. I think that's silly. I think short hair on a dog is fine. And that aesthetically, you like the teddy bear fluffy look, that's fine too. But just to have this like dire need that it's always fluffy and it's never short, it's just not rational. Devil's advocate, in the video that I saw, somebody might argue that this dog is more adoptable because she rescued the fur and made it still cute and doodly. So someone's gonna come into that shelter and say, that's so fluffy and cute, and they're gonna rescue it. Whereas if it was all the way shaved down, they'd be like, look at that naked mole rat, and then they would leave it there. So it's like, is this dog more rescuable because you rescued the coat, right? Or more adoptable? I mean, if you're gonna make that argument, then at least be very upfront about why you made the choice to be cutting out the mats and dematting versus a quick shave down that would have taken, by the way, on a large dog, maybe 2 hours total, including the bath. I would have done a pre-shave with a number 7, make the dog fairly naked, go ahead and do the bath, and then a smooth over shave. 2 hours max. And no pulling on those mats with a demat tool and the brush and everything. So when you're talking about, you know, exceptions to the rule, okay, I'm willing to listen. But overall, I don't think it's admirable to rescue a dog's coat when it's matted. I think owners need to take responsibility for the maintenance of the dog's coat. And obviously, in a rescue situation, an abandoned dog with a neglected coat, give the dog a break.